to any young woman who might see this, please do not be fearmongered by the male podcasters, pastors, any religious figure, and anyone who tells you that you must get married and start having children to be happy. I've been told often in my life that if you can, it's best to learn from other people's mistakes. And speaking from experience, I know these voices are loud and they speak with authority, but they know nothing about you. I'm not telling you to never get married, and I'm not telling you to never have children. Those are personal choices, but they're big choices. They're huge choices that affect you for the rest of your life. We know that the frontal cortex hasn't even fully developed until between the ages of 25 to 27 or 28. I got engaged at the age of 18, just a couple of days before my 19th birthday, and married 8 weeks later to someone I had dated for 6 months. I had been told for all those 18 years that it would be best for me and serve me the most as a woman, as a female, to get married young and start having children, and to serve my husband and my children for the rest of my life. The honest truth is, not only did I not know my husband that I was marrying, I didn't know me. I wished I had used those years between 18, 19, and maybe even up to 30 to really get to know myself. Self-discovery is so much fun. And I really didn't start that until age 49 when I finally divorced after a 30-year marriage. Under the influence of a high-demand religion, I began having children and had my first child at just before my 21st birthday. It was a hard marriage, it was a lonely marriage, and it was not something I would have done had I known better, had I been wiser, had I had more experience, had I gotten to know me better, had I known about boundaries, had I known about what I really wanted in a husband and what a husband really should be and what a father really should be. Because unfortunately, my father wasn't much more of an example. He was never around, and my mother did the bulk of the work. At age 30, I finally slapped myself out of this hell that I was in, this prison that I was in. And it was at that point, I had been so disillusioned, I honestly couldn't tell you what my favorite color was. Not because I didn't know, but because I wasn't sure that was the correct color. And I can guarantee you, had I waited to get married, had I really understood who I was, by the time I was 30, I also realized it wasn't my fault that I had been sexually abused. What a heavy burden I carried for so long. I would have had my education by then. I may have had a career. I definitely would have had my own finances, which would have been absolutely wonderful, because if I had entered into a marriage that I didn't want to be in, I would have had a way out. And let me tell you, I would have been a hell of a better mother. There's nothing wrong with getting to know yourself. In fact, everything about that is right. There's nothing wrong with learning to love yourself first. Everything about that is right. And despite what you may have been told all of these years, your value, your worth is all intact with just who you are. And you deserve to know who that is before making huge decisions like marriage and having children.
So I'm not going to say it. I'm going to show all the data and then give some supporting evidence. Headline 1, married men live longer, have better sex, and make more money. That's compared to unmarried men. Single women live longer and are happier. Women and girls are more likely to be unalived by their intimate partner. Despite making up a small fraction of overall homicides, they account for 58% of intimate partner-related homicides. Even when women work outside of the home, they're more likely to take on household tasks, creating what's known as invisible labor. Bars in green are tasks that women are more likely to report doing. The only tasks that men are more likely to report doing in marriage is making decisions about savings and investment, keeping the car in good condition, and yard work. One of these choices definitely disadvantages women. It's the financial one. The burden of providing childcare, cleaning, cooking, and making sure everyone is happy and healthy falls primarily on women's shoulders. On average, women are doing almost 40% more than men when it comes to domestic work. One reason that this may occur is because of something that us psychologists call weaponized incompetence. Basically, the other partner attempts to do this work and intentionally does it poorly, knowing that that will get them off the hook of doing it in the future. It then becomes just easier to do myself, and then women end up taking on that burden. It's a tactic used primarily by men in heterosexual relationships to avoid equitable division of labor. Heterosexual married men are healthier than unmarried men. This may be because within heterosexual relationships, women are more likely to be positioned as the health experts. Women do more work to monitor and improve their spouse's health habits than do men within heterosexual marriages. And heterosexual men are more likely to ignore their own physical symptoms. And this is probably one reason why heterosexual married men live longest. Because women's are there looking out for them. And lastly, heterosexual men orgasm the most. Heterosexual women orgasm the least. And lesbian women orgasm the most of lesbian, bisexual, and straight women. This scam is so integrated into daily life. Marriage is seen as the ultimate goal, but it's a goal that was set by men because it benefits them. It's usually not what us women deem to be success. I don't want to take care of someone. I don't want to have sex. I don't want to do twice my household labor, all while earning less than my male counterpart. But for men, that serves the utmost highest advantage. They get to go off and be successful in their career because they basically have a live-in maid who cares for every aspect of them, including monitoring their physical health, making sure they feel good in bed, cooking their meals, planning their vacations, planning everything, except for the finances, because that's for men. Silly women can't do math. They can't add numbers. They're too emotional to deal with stocks. Scam!
I've been holding this story in for a while, but now I think I'm going to say it because I feel like I just want to ask moms and married women, are y'all okay? Like, are y'all generally okay? Because although I'm young, I'm 23, I turned 24 in December, and I'm not married, or I don't have kids yet. I just started my career, just graduated college. Y'all don't make it look fun, right? So in real life, and on social media I do, but not in real life. So basically, I was going to go get sushi, and they don't close until like 1 a.m., right? Because I have so many college kids that lives around me. So basically, I was going in there probably like around 12 o'clock. I was going in there, and it was an older woman in there. Wait, it was a woman in there, and she was in there like sitting in the corner. And I know the staff there, and they were trying to think of ways to like politely tell her to leave, right? Me being me, I go and I sit near her, and I'm like, and as I got closer to her, as I sat down, she's like, tears just sliding down her face. Like, tears just sliding down her face. And so I'm like, man, I don't want to be in your business, but like, can I hand you a napkin? Like, is everything okay? Can I hand you a tissue? Like, how are you feeling? And she's just like, you can tell she held back, right? She held back. And then she just starts like letting it all out. And she's just like, I don't want to go home to my kids. She's like, I have 2 young kids. And she just doesn't want to go home to them. Like, she just wants to run away and start a whole new life without them, right? And she was just like, I'm stressed out. I work. I come home. I cook. My husband works. Everything is just so expensive. Like, I can't do this anymore. And honestly, I thought she was on the brink of unaliving herself. So that's what really got me, like, the nurse in me was like, girl, like, calm down. Like, we can talk this out. Let's do this, right? And the crazy thing is, I thought she was an older woman, but she's 34. She's 34. And I thought she was like in her 40s. She's 34. She married her husband at 19. She just was like, don't ever get married. I wasted my life. Family is overrated. Having kids is overrated. Being married is overrated. And like, she said that she just wanted a break. Like, she just couldn't do it. And that if she could go back in time, she wouldn't have gotten married. She would have gotten her career, because now she wants to go back in school and do stuff, but she can't afford it because her kids are there. And she has to put all the money that she does make, she has to go to her kids. And it's just like, this is my problem. Like, it's crazy how this came to me, because it's like, you guys push women into getting married and having kids, but women really don't know what they're signing up for. And the crazy thing is, I was like, oh, because, I want to get married to have a kid. She was like, take as long as you can. And it's like, I just want to say that to women, like, I'm so pro family and so pro marriage, because my parents to this day are still married. But it's like, know what you're getting into. Like, don't let this social media pressure you into signing up something that you are not mentally, financially, and everything else prepared for, because that's your future.
So someone asked me, why did I think women were not having children like they used to, or getting married like they used to? And I'm going to tell you why. I think a lot of women have realized that whole marriage and having kids is a scam, and it's a scam for the woman, and I'm going to tell you why. Women have always been told and taught that they're supposed to be the ones to cook, to clean, to rear the children, to do the homework. Then they still have to go to work, come home, still put in on the bills, still take care of the man, and keep themselves up, make sure their body is okay, make sure they're going to the gym, everything needs to be tight, while the man really has the only responsibility of going to work and coming home and paying some bills. He can be 40, 50 pounds overweight, big pot belly, nobody cares, doesn't help out, doesn't do anything, and he feels like as a man his job is done. That is a huge ass scam. Women are not the only people who should be doing the child rearing. They're not the only ones who should be helping with housework and making sure that the house is running smoothly. Don't you live there? If a man is living in that house, he should be contributing. And I don't just mean financially. If the house is going to run smoothly, both people should be contributing. And that means to everything. The child rearing, the cooking, the cleaning. If you can't cook, you can wash some dishes. You can help out somewhere. But to feel like your only job is to go to work, come home, pay some bills, and then just wait for your woman to come please you is barbaric. And that is why women aren't doing it anymore. They have woke up to this. They're like, that's no benefit to me. I break my body down by giving birth, and then I have children, and then I have to do everything for them. And the man just gets to enjoy having a child and going to work and coming home. And then he can do whatever the fuck he wants to do. Play games, whatever it is that suits him. Have men's night out, boys' night out, whatever you want to call it. While the woman is stuck handling all the business. And God forbid a divorce happens, because 9 times out of 10, what happens? The women have the children, and she has them 90% of the time. Only time he gets the children is normally on a weekend visit. So then the rest of her life, she is child rearing while he has the freedom to go out and date and do whatever it is he wants to do and be a parent on the weekends. It's a scam for women. That is why so many women have said, not doing it. I'm not going to be the one putting myself out there and giving 80% to the home while men give their bare 20% and feel like they should be treated as a king. No, that's why it's not happening.